Hey everyone, it is Lane with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the Imperial Knights slash Imperial Agents list I'm taking into DJ's Necrons. The best two codexes available in current 10th edition 40k, Imperial Knights and Imperial Agents. I'm smushing them together. We are taking Imperial Agents with a whole bunch, Imperial Knights with a whole bunch of Imperial Agents allies in here to kind of give them some more play. I don't know if it's good, but I wanted to try it to see what it's like using these knights and give them some infantry to kind of help them out, and also letting them ignore cover. One of the big things is that I'm using the Crusader knight, who's just got a ton of shots but very low AP. Giving him the ability to ignore cover is going to improve his damage output. So we're going to use a couple Sisters of Battle Emulators to kind of help out with that. So I don't know, guys. We'll see. I don't really play my Imperial Knights a whole lot. They are, of course, painted in Death Watch colors, because back in 8th edition, I could ally them to my Death Watch or to my Sisters of Battle. So I figured, I'd just paint them, I'd paint them all black and red. So that's what we did. We've got Death Watch Imperial Knights with the Imperial Agents. Let's just go through the list. I don't have anything really impressive to say about this. We're just going to give it a try and see if these Imperial Agents can help out the Knights a little bit. All right, here's the list. All right, so this is 1,985 point list here. We have Imperial Knights in the Noble Lands. We're not trying out the Grotsmas detachment. I didn't want to bring them with the AdMech. I'm just going to use them in this detachment. The Noble Lance is pretty good. Give them the Feel No Pain, give them the rerolls when you choose Lalo the Tyrant as your oath. So I'm going to stick with that. So, we have allied in here. We have 665 points of Imperial Agents allied into the Knights. I'm not sure if it's going to help the Knights that much. Again, ignoring cover will be kind of a big deal. We'll see if it's worth it, to do this instead of just taking lots of extra baby Knights. Having a couple emulators out here. They're another vehicle profiles, so the fact is that most of the army is just vehicle profiles. Toughness 10 or higher, toughness 12, with 3-up armor. So, and just having a couple, 5-man squads of Sisters out there to go out and do some actions. Having the Subductors here to get out there and just kind of prevent my Knights from getting charged, to keep them safe from that sort of thing. Maybe go out and get on objectives as kind of a semi-durable unit. For 100 points, the fact is that you have 10 models plus the good boy, the good old doggo, to keep them on the objective, keep them alive. So hopefully that'll help out. So our Warlord, of course, is Canis Rex. We brought Canis Rex today, painted, of course, in the Death Watch colors, the black and red, or the Sisters colors. Canis Rex is pretty strong just because he gets the free strat every turn, which definitely is something, giving him the free rotate ion shields, or re-rolling a charge roll, or free tank shock, that sort of thing. Definitely worth it. Get some extra efficiency out of him. His shooting is kind of decent, not amazing, but strong enough. His ranged weapon is the big gun is the Chainbreaker Las Impulsor. You have either a high intensity or low intensity. Low intensity goes out to 36 inches, strength 7, AP 1, 2 damage, 2d6 blast shots. The high intensity only goes to 24 inches. You get d6 shots, but it is strength 14, AP 3, 4 damage, again, blast. Both of these have sustained. Canis Rex's big deal is that he can keep himself, or he gives himself crits on 5, so all of his attacks are sustained on 5-ups. So he can kind of swing harder. Sometimes you'll get a few extra hits from that. Punching, he punches so hard. So just the strike profile of Freedom's Hand, his big old power fist. He's got 5 attacks, again, sustained on 5-ups. Hitting on 2s, of course. Strength 20 for some reason. AP 3, flat 9 damage. The guy bonks. He comes out to play, and if he gets in there, he's going to bonk something. So hopefully he gets to punch something worth it. Hopefully he doesn't get shot off the table before he gets a chance to really throw that fist down. Last time I played with him, he got wrecked by the Necron all-character list that DJ ran. There's just a bunch of mortal wounds they could kick out, and those tachyon arrows. It was bad. It was bad for poor Canis. He's got some vengeance to claim here today. So hopefully he gets out there and is able to do a little bit of work. Next, we do have a Knight Crusader with a rapid-fire battle cannon and the Avenger Gatling cannon. So this guy gets just a ton of shots. He's got stubbers all over the place, and he's got the Storm Spear rocket pod up top, and he gets just a ton of shots. The problem is with that ton of shots that it's all very low AP. And early on in 10th edition, when I played against Knights players, I always, if they brought in a Crusader, I usually worried about that last because I would just go put my stuff in cover. The Avenger Gatling cannon is AP2, 2 damage, but the rapid fire battle cannon is only AP1. If you can just get some cover, it really narrows down the amount of damage they can do because they're just not getting the shots through. Because we're bringing some sisters allies today, we'll have a couple emulators that can take cover from things, strip off cover from targets. I'm hoping that makes him a little more efficient. It lets him get the work done a little bit better. We'll find out today. His special rule is that if he stands still, that turn he gets sustained on all of his shooting, and that can kind of add up with all of his ranged attacks. The Avenger Gatling cannon is 18 shots, strength 6, AP2, 2 damage. The rapid fire battle cannon is D6 plus 3, strength 10, AP1, 3 damage, but it's rapid fire D6 plus 3 in a 72-inch range. So if you're within 36 inches, it's 2D6 plus 6 shots. That's a ton of shots. Decent Storm Spear rocket pod, a bunch of stubbers all over the place. Just a ton of shots. It's kind of nice that the heavy stubbers are AP1, so they do have a little bit of AP. And again, if we're ignoring cover on a target, that'll help us get a little bit more damage through. He doesn't really punch much in combat, just got those feet that are not really great this edition. Hopefully he doesn't get tied up or anybody comes at him too hard. Hopefully we can shoot any DJ's close combat stuff before it gets up in my face. That's it for the big knights. We got a couple baby knights. We do have one Armiger Warglaive. This is the one with the Melta Spear and the little chain glaive. Chain cleaver. His special ability is that he rerolls. No, he doesn't reroll anything. He gets sustained 1 on his close combat weapons when he charges. He does have a 12-inch move. These little guys are OC8, so they are great for moving out there, getting on objectives, and controlling those objectives. Then we do have 2 of the Armiger Helverins. Their special rule is that their autocannons get anti-fly 2-up when they are either in their deployment zone or on an objective they control, which means that's kind of useful in a lot of armies these days because a lot of the best stuff has fly, especially when we're looking at DJ's list. I forget what it's called. The big dumb barges that are going to shoot at me a whole lot. Those things have fly, so I've got to be worried about them. The mounted guys, the destroyers have fly too, so having anti-fly 2-up is kind of good with them. Again, AP1, they have a strat to get up to AP2 if they're shooting the same target. And anti-fly means they'll be wounding things on 2, which is pretty decent when they've got that flat 3 damage autocannons. And I forgot to mention the Crusader does have the enhancement Mythic Hero, just meaning he'll be able to give his Bondsman ability to 2 Armigers, and that's his ability is +1 to hit. So he'll be able to give 2 guys +1 to hit, just meaning, if I get these Armiger Helverins into firing lanes, they'll be able to do some damage in the flying units because if they're going to be hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, and they get a reroll to hit and a reroll to wound because they're Imperial Knights. It gets some efficiency through there, especially if we're ignoring cover or if I use the strat to give them extra AP. Hopefully they get a chance to take advantage of those rules a little bit and don't die right away. And then that's it for the Imperial Knights. Now we've got some allies here. Like I said, we've got over 600 points of Imperial allies. I'm taking an Eversor Assassin. The Eversor Assassin likes to go out and chop things up really good. Obviously, he's got a 9-inch move, a 9-inch scout move. He's got Lone Op, and he punches just really, really hard. He gets 6 attacks in combat, sustained 3, strength 5, AP2, 2 damage, but anti-infantry 3 up. So regardless of how tough the infantry is, he's getting a bunch of hits. And once per game, of course, he goes just wild. He can always shoot and declare a charge a turn that he advanced. So in addition to his 9-inch move, he can always advance, shoot, and charge. But once per battle in the movement phase, I can just declare that he gets an extra 6 inches added to his normal move and adds 3 attacks to his attack characteristics. That means he moves 15 inches, then advances, then charges, and gets an extra 3 attacks, just meaning he's more likely to pop off some of those sustained 3s when he gets into combat. So lots of fun with this guy. Hopefully, I just want to keep him safe until he can shoot out there and do a little bit of damage. Really, I had the option of taking him or another Armiger, and I just wanted to take him for the fact that he can go through walls. He has the lone op ability, so he can kind of hold an objective or do a secondary and remain alive and not get shot. So hoping he performs well for me today. Now, we do have a Sisters of Battle squad, 110 man of the Sisters of Battle. They've got a multi-melt and a melt-a-gun. Their rules are they get sticky objectives. So if they control an objective through my command phase, that objective is mine, even if I move off of it until an enemy model gets on there. And then they also have a cherub that they can re-roll one. They can use it once per game for a free CP re-roll. And they kind of clarified, I think, in the FAQ somewhere that if you have a 10-man that's split in half, you only get one cherub, not one for each 5-man. So we'll put in that cherub with the multi-melta. So hopefully we get a reroll there and get a multi-melta shot through. So with 2 Sisters of Battle, I mean, 115 points, they are kind of expensive, especially because they don't get any kind of stratagem support when they're allied in like this. They don't get any of their sister special rules. So the fact that they are split into 2 squads means you have 2 squads that are can go out and do some actions, get on objectives, sticky objectives, that sort of thing. Hopefully they give me a little bit of use there, get a little bit of work done, and can leave the rest of my army to just do the damage output. So, of course, transporting the Sisters around, we do have 2 Sisters of Battle Emulators. Now, if you don't know, if you're looking at these models of these Emulators, you might think they don't look like Emulators, but they also don't look like Rhinos. These are actually an old Forge World upgrade for the Rhinos. They were called a Repressor. They had firing deck 6, so they had 6 firing ports, so you could put a squad of girls with meltas in there, can all shoot out. And it had some rules, it had like 2 heavy flamers and that sort of thing. I'll be using them as the Emulators today to get them back on the table, and I don't have 2 Emulators. Yeah, but they're cool models, a cool upgrade kit for the Rhino to make a more durable transport back in the day. Can't, of course, use those anymore, but we are going to be using them as Emulators. So both Emulators will have twin-linked multi-meltas on them. And the Emulator special rule, obviously, number one, they can split a 10-man squad of Sisters in half. So that's how we'll have 2 squads of Sisters of 5 apiece. And once they've shot, you pick something that they've hit in the shooting phase, and then the rest of your army will ignore cover when they shoot at that target. Now, or I should say the rule is that model does not benefit from cover for the rest of the phase, meaning even allied units will be able to ignore cover. Each time this model is shot, select one enemy unit hit by one or more of those attacks. Till the end of the phase, that enemy unit cannot have the benefit of cover. So that means regardless of whether it's sisters shooting at it or allies of some sort, the Imperial Knights, they'll all be ignoring cover on that target. Now, of course, this is a problem. It's going to present some interesting challenges when I am shooting at Necrons that have the ability to counter move after they've been shot. So hopefully with 2 of these Sisters Emulators, I'll be able to put some shots out there. It says after... Yeah, I don't know if I can choose which... I can split fire and put a Storm Bolter here, a multi-melter here, a heavy bolter here. I don't know if I can actually force DJ to choose if he's going to make the movement first, and then I choose which target to put the ignore cover on. It's going to be a bit of a challenge today. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out in the game, because I have to shoot something first, and then the rest of my army ignores cover. But of course, DJ can move his vehicles and mounted 6 inches after they've been shot, which means they might just be able to move them out of line of sight for the rest of my army. It can be a real problem. So I think I'm just going to have to tag lots of things to the Emulators and hope they stick around for a little while to see if they can actually benefit from the rules. And then finally, we do have 2 10-man plus a dog squads of the Subductors. Subductors, There's special rules that on a 4-up they fight on death. It's not like they punch very hard. I'm not really looking to get any damage through with these guys. It's just a bunch of T3 guys and plus a dog. And they do have a 3-up save and a 4-up invuln, which means they're just more durable than little T3 guys should be. So we're going to use them to kind of block the Imperial Knights from getting charged. I don't want them to get charged by the Scorpex, that sort of thing, or even the spiders, because they can do some damage into the Knights. So we're going to use them to block out, to move block DJ, to get onto objectives. DJ's going to get +1 to hit when he's shooting at stuff on objectives, so I might as well sacrifice these guys, put them on objectives before I put my big valuable units on there. So I'm hoping they perform well today. I'm hoping the dogs just live forever. I don't want to see these little puppies get hurt. And then they do have the Nuncio Aquila, so once per game they can pick an objective within 6 inches and force all the enemy units on there to take a battle shock test. Maybe that'll be useful. It can be useful for secondaries if I'm trying to storm a hostile objective, or I'm going in for an attack and I want someone to prevent DJ from using strats on a unit if they do get battle shocked. So we'll see if that comes up today. Maybe a way for me to stop DJ from counter moving something that I'm trying to shoot at. So, but yeah, that is the list. Like I said, just having some fun with this list. I don't think it's super competitive, but I want to see how the Imperial Knights and the Imperial Agents team up together, see if the Agents can provide some support to the Knights. The Crusader, I really want him to be good because he's got so many shots. He stands there, pumps out a ton of shots. I'm really interested to see if that gets the work done when he is able to ignore cover. Like I said, we have the unique challenge that my targets might be moving away from me during during my shooting phase. If I tag him with an Emulator, he can spend a CP to have his counter move strat, which allows him to move 6 inches. 6 inches with a vehicle or mounted unit, or D6 with anything else. So it'll be an interesting interaction to see how it functions. I do want to get the Helvrins in to use their anti-fly 2-up. Hoping they can get some damage through, because I need to double check with DJ. It seems like he has a fair number of things to fly. I know the Wraiths functionally fly, but don't have the fly keyword. I don't know why that would be the case. I think the Spiders fly. I don't know. I'm going to have to check with him. There's a lot of armies have good stuff that has fly, and the autocannons on the Helvrins are only AP1, but you have a strat that you can get them up to AP2, and if we can make it so they ignore cover, it's going to really allow them to get that damage through. So follow me over to the battle report. Let's see how the Knights and the Agents do together. All right, have a good one.